Hello, coaching types. Welcome to One Way Conversation, where I rant on for a few minutes about something that I don't like in our sport as a general rule, or a coaching topic. Also, this would be a really long tweet, even for a 5-minute talk. Today is more of the rant type. I want to talk about slide tackling at U9 and the younger age groups, and why I don't coach it, I don't teach it, I don't encourage it. As a matter of fact, I discourage it. Um, First and foremost, I believe that it's very, very difficult for a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old to know when the appropriate time to slide tackle is and how slide tackling is supposed to be done. If you teach a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old slide tackling, or even in some cases a 6-year-old, if you teach them slide tackling, um, they'll do it all the time. They love getting down, they love getting dirty, and it'll be something that they do as often as possible. I was in a tournament last week and I watched the VO back, and my opponent slid tackled 21 times in a game, and the coach is highly encouraging it. And I was talking to the referee about it because it becomes a safety issue. There are more fouls involved in slide tackles at that age than there are actual connections with the ball. It's more likely that a kid is going to hurt themselves, hurt their opponent, or something along those lines, rather than make good contact with a ball or save a play. Also, at those ages, it's just not fundamentally sound, right? It's better to teach proper defending than it is acts of desperation, which is what a slide tackle really is. It's an act of desperation. It's the last act of somebody who's saying, look, if I don't get the ball here, we're going to get beat anyway. So I don't find it to be helpful. I also find it to be time wasteful when kids could be learning other things like proper defending and proper defending technique. Now, opponents of this, opponents, and I expect there to be a little bit of a backlash on this. Opponents to me on this are going to say, well, it's part of the game and you got to let the kids play the game. And I look at it, as I said, like a safety issue, like the USSF looks at heading, right? I find it to be a safety issue with players. So I'm not the biggest fan of teaching kids to do it. I've had many kids get hurt being involved in a slide tackle. And like I said, I don't coach it and I don't believe in it. I do fully support teaching it at the U10 and above levels, learning proper technique, when, where, how to do it, all of those things. I think that is a more accurate time when kids will say, okay, this would be a better situation for a slide tackle, or I really need to go in at it here, right? So at the older age groups, yeah, I fully support at least having a discussion with your players on it and taking a practice or two to go over proper technique with it. But at U6, U7, U8, even U9, I just don't see the benefit of taking that kind of time to try to teach it when we should be teaching proper defending techniques, both in one-on-one situations and as a group. Also, letting players know that if you miss a slide tackle and don't get anything, you're completely beat. You're laying on the ground and your opponent's 10 yards away and you're out of the play, which is one of the things that I like to talk to my players about. I said, look, slide tackling, yes, can be dangerous, but another big part of it is if you miss, right, you're done. You're out of the play and you can't help your team laying on the ground. So it's hard to get back on defense after missing a slide tackle and your opponent is off to the races the other direction. So this is really, it's a short one for me today on this, and I'm curious what other people's opinions are on it. Once again, I don't coach it. I don't teach it. I actually actively discourage it for our young players. And I leave that to the coaches kind of at the next age groups up. Okay? Keep going, keep coaching. Take care of yourselves.